Buying tickets to sports and concerts can be way too complicated, but there is a better, simpler way to buy. SeatGeek is the smartest, easiest way to get tickets to live events. And right now, get a $20 rebate on your first purchase. Just download the SeatGeek app and enter promo code J&J today.
And now, Jalen and Jacoby on ESPN Radio.
When I pop the trunk, head to death. Y'all pop the trunk, I pop the hood.
Now act stupid, I'll pop the trunk. Now give me a boom.
He is Jalen Rose.
What up, Doe?
I am David Jacoby.
And on the cool check-in.
Together, we are
Center
Jalen and Jacoby.
stage on the mic.
And we putting it on wax.
You haven't realized that
come on,
you always
Reg.
jump in too early?
Right, no, but Reg is supposed to play It's the New Style, too. He just plays Put It On Wax now.
It's the new style.
There you go, Reggie.
Both of y'all. Man.
What do we
We've been
do?
doing this for years.
You're the one who remixed the Open, though. Let's be honest. You decided you were going to do this on your own. You started doing it on your own. Started saying on a cool check-in. And then you started telling us how to do it and how we're doing it wrong.
I wanted to synchronize it. Here's what happened.
No, here's what happens. You decided that singing, give the people what they want, was too much effort, so you wanted to just, say something. That's what happened.
No, I wanted to synchronize a Beastie Boys classic that we can't use on television, and also pay homage to my brother David Jacoby, who has the Beastie Boys over his left shoulder. Mm-hmm. And a moment when I was at Joe Louis Arena, and they came out on stage doing Run DMC's Raising Hell tour, and they changed the way we view individuals that look like them in hip-hop.
You want to do it again?
No. And here's the other thing that happened.
Let's just leave it on here broken, like a Wu-Tang song.
Here's the other thing that happened. I take a couple of days off. Y'all start feeling good about the proceedings.
Of course.
Welcoming guests.
Yeah,
that probably
we had a great
work hard
time.
and care about the show.
Yeah, they were
and
excited
prepare.
to be here. Yeah.
Don't talk back.
You could tell they were excited to be here.
Come on time.
This is so cool. The studio's great, man. You guys make this easy. This is so relaxed. Appreciate it. Not just like, when are we going to start? When are we going to start? I've been here for 2 minutes, guys. I'm very important. I'm Jalen Rose. You want to start the show?
We already did.
They want us to put 10 minutes on the clock and quickly go through all of the NFL games that we watched for 9 hours on Sunday. Are you ready, Mr. Rose? Let's start.
Let's get it.
We are going to start with the game that I predicted, the upset that I predicted. I thought the Rams were going to go into Dallas and beat the Cowboys, and guess what they did? Your thoughts?
I want you to stick out your chest, and I want you to beat it just like King Kong, because you were exactly right, my brother from another mother.
And if I was wrong, we wouldn't even bring it up, so it doesn't matter.
Yes, we would.
Nah.
Because here's the thing. The Rams are 3-1 this year. They were last year, but it looks a lot different.
It does look different.
And one of the things I want to point out, hey, Rams, the new style jersey doesn't go with the old style helmet.
I kind of liked it. Anyone was making fun of it all Sunday, but I kind of liked it. I like the white horns on the helmet.
But what I do like, besides their stout defense,
Girly.
That's not the reason why they've been winning.
Girly.
It's their offense that's been explosive, putting up big numbers.
Goff.
As you mentioned, Gurley out of the backfield, running and
Cooper
catching.
Kupp.
And Jared Goff looks like a different player than he did under Jeff Fisher.
I love the skilled position players on their offense. Gurley, and then Watkins, and then Cooper Kupp in the slot. Woods, yep. And then every once in a while, put in Trayvon Austin. I'm loving the Rams this year. I want them to continue to do well and send the Chargers back to San Diego. Moving on to your bad loss of the week. I know you watched this one, and I know it got difficult around your home.
It's getting real in our household because I tell you what, it's all fun and games when the Lions are 3-1, but it's something else when Molly's Giants are 0-4.
It's like they're kind of out of the playoffs already. Like the Giants' season is over. I do not remember an 0-4 team that went on to make the playoffs.
And what makes this a bad loss, during the offseason, you think about the progress that their defense made last year. Snacks Harrison on the line.
Snacks.
playing great football, Landon Collins being an all-pro performer.
JPP coming back.
You think in close games they're going to be able to get stops when they need? They have not been able to do so. And I know a lot's been made of their offensive line being in shambles, and that's true. But they held up pretty well in the fourth game. You saw their rookie running back running the football well out of Clemson. Eli found a way to stand up right and make throws when he needed. Beckham had a drop customarily. So did Brandon Marshall. Mm-hmm. But again, they found their way back in the game, but that was only because Tampa Bay's kicker allowed them to be in the game. 2 missed field goals, a missed extra point, and when it was needed most, Tampa Bay drove downfield and got the game-winning field goal.
Jalen, is there a sound that encapsulates how you feel about your Detroit Lions? Say it again, Jalen! Say it again! Last week, controversially losing to one of the best teams in the NFC, the Falcons. This week, beating one of the best teams in the NFC, interdivisional rival, the Minnesota Vikings. I'm so proud of your Lions. Cook, Jalen Rose.
So on paper, you can be like, well, they did it against a backup quarterback. But all I know is that same backup quarterback
threw for 4 touchdowns last week.
Professional defense
exactly.
The week before.
Yep.
I hated to see Dalvin Cook, rookie out of Florida State, who was playing great football, get injured.
I know.
On a cut, non-contact injury. You saw him grab it as he went down that led to a fumble.
Did you like to see Amir Abdullah come back?
I did. And usually under Matthew Stafford, the offense driving the football up and down the field is actually wild. If the team won, that was to take place. But it's been the stout defense that's been crucial to allow the Lions to now be 3-1 so far in this early season.
Held the Vikings to 7 points, stopped them on a crucial series as they tried to tie the game up at the end. Great work from the Lions. You know I'm a die-easy Patriots fan. Well, my Patriots fandom is dying very quickly now. Because Cam just came into Foxborough and kind of lit them up. And you thought, I was like, oh, the Patriots are going to come back and win. Patriots are going to come back and win. And they came back and tied the game only to watch Cam easily march down the field to set up a game-winning field goal. Patriots defense has not been impressive so far, Mr. Rose.
Here's the beauty of sports.
Explain.
When Bill Belichick takes a talented group of individuals and they play phenomenal, all of a sudden we talk about his genius, and rightfully so. When he take a less talented group of individuals and they play great football, he's coaching them up.
Yep.
What do people have to say about the Patriots having the worst defense in football?
Oh, I don't know. They've got the most efficient offense.
And Matt Patricia, that ink pen in his ear, don't look as fly when the defense ain't flying around the football.
All that disheveled coach and all that stuff. It looks so good when you're coming back and winning the Super Bowl. But when you're 2-2 and you got tied with the Jets and the Bills are top of your division, it might be time for a trim around the beard area. That's all I'm saying. It might be time to put on maybe a button-up, Bill Belichick. Like maybe we should switch something up around here.
But when you've established the level of championship cachet that they have, in particular now on the offensive side of the football, Brady still looks terrific.
When he's not on his back, he's been sacked 13 times so far this season. He's 40 years old. I do not like this.
I agree with you. And I'm still waiting to see the signature Gronk takeover type performances.
Hasn't happened. They've been missing Gronk. Even when Gronk catches it, he goes down quickly. It's just been different. Gronk used to be, as you said last year, early in the year, the MVP of the NFL. Now, not even one of the best tight ends in the NFL.
And also, when Brandon Cooks performs the way he did in New Orleans, you think once he goes to play with the Patriots, he's going to be Randy Moss, the remix? That hasn't necessarily taken place either.
Broncos beat the Raiders. The Broncos are now 3-1 under Trevor Siemian, looking pretty good. Defense stout as always. Are they one of the best teams in the AFC?
See, when you cooking on football Sunday and tailgating and you enjoying the guide and who's coming up next, and you in a room full of people, a couple of them are Raiders fans, a couple of them are Broncos fans, and a couple of the Denver fans like, yeah, we want to see what Crabtree do today. Last time they played, Akeem Talib snatched that chain.
Yep.
And so when he didn't show up, they was like, oh,
Crabtree,
really?
So I love your theory here. You're theorizing, because we've spoken about this off wax, that Crabtree faked an injury to avoid the wrath of Akeem Talib. Just say it. Just say it. Just say it. Come on, you said it off wax.
I was hoping that was not the case, so I had to go to accredited professional Adam Schefter. I had to reach out to him
Wait, you
and
did
be
research?
like, yo, what's going on with Michael Crabtree? That's one of my
really
guys.
Hurt? Is he really
Did
hurt?
he leave last week's game with an injury? He was like, yes, he has a couple of injuries. So I was like, I'm glad that didn't happen to Crabtree. And by the way, I told you that Marshawn Lynch was going to have a signature thing that he did as it related to protesting and or letting his voice be heard. Yep. I see you, Beast Mode, with the Everybody versus 45 t-shirt.
Got to pick up the pace now. The Bills upset the Falcons. The Falcons lose both Jones and Sanu and the football. Matt Ryan turned the ball over 5 times.
The two teams that were in the Super Bowl last year aren't looking like they made it to that point. But how about this? You know who's having a bad day?
Who's that?
The Ryan brothers.
Yeah.
I saw the new head coach talk about team multiple times after the game. In other words, when those gentlemen was here, and I love Rex, he's doing a terrific job on television. But man, I tell you what, the entire team is looking better. They're 3-1. And the defense is also looking better without his brother Rob.
Very quickly, Steelers, Ravens. Le'Veon Bell had over 140 rushing yards and 2 rushing touchdowns.
Is it me, or when I see Odell Beckham Jr. and Antonio Brown, they seem like two individuals that won 2 Super Bowls before they met Eli and Big Ben, not the other way around?
It's a good point. Yeah. Cardinals beat the 49ers in a game that no one cared about, no one watched, so we're going to skip it.
I was hoping Larry Fitzgerald had a big game.
Deshaun Watson is here, and let everybody know it when he put up numbers against the Titans. What do you think of Deshaun Watson?
Are you surprised? Let me see.
A little bit.
Have we seen him perform against the best on the biggest stage? I think so. No surprises. I can't say I saw them putting up 50-plus points as a unit, which was terrific.
Eagles beat the Chargers, but who really cares? Let's just watch LeGarrette Blount.
I care. The Eagles, NFC East, they sit on top.
Shout out.
Next, the Bengals beat the Browns. Hugh Jackson is
one
now
of those games
1
we
in
don't
19.
truly care about.
1 in 19, Hugh Jackson as a head coach. The Colts completely fell apart Sunday night against the Seahawks.
What happened to Jacoby?
I don't know. You know what? Jacoby wanted me to go to bed. He knew I was tired. He knew I was tired, so he didn't want to make a game of it. The Jaguars and the Jets. Jets are 2-2. The Jets are 500.
Who would have thunk that the Jets would have more
finally,
wins than the Giants
in London,
at this point of the season?
the Saints beat the Dolphins.
We don't watch those games online.
We don't watch those games.
Fantasy sports just got a lot easier to play and win with the hottest new games by Dober.Games. No more long lineups or complicated salary caps. Create at least 3 matchups and you're good to go. Make any combination of matchups you want. Play all quarterbacks this week, receivers next week. Even make picks across multiple sports. Just pick 3 matchups to win cash prizes. Dober.Games is one of the fastest, easiest ways to play daily fantasy sports. That's Dober.Games. Dober.Games. Use promo code HOOPS to enter a free contest with cash prizes just for joining. You can win cash fast, easy at Dober.Games. Sign up right now at Dober.Games. Use promo code HOOPS to enter a free contest with cash prizes just for joining. Void where prohibited. See site for restrictions. Must be of legal age in your state or area. Fantasy sports just got a whole lot easier to play. Play big, win bigger at Dober.Games.
Jalen Rose, Cavaliers head coach, Ty Lue, has said that he is considering starting Jay Crowder, pushing Kevin Love to the 5 and Tristan Thompson out of the starting 5. What do you think about this potential move?
No surprise, and it's not because of the curse of the Kardashians. Congratulations to Khloe and Tristan, who are expecting,
we support
allegedly.
Power couples. We've inaugurated them as a power couple.
But what I will say is, basically, it's an acknowledgement about the conference that they play in. When you look at the elite teams in the Eastern Conference, Boston, Toronto, Washington, all come to mind, along with the Cleveland Cavaliers, clearly. they don't use the center to be a dominant force down low, in particular, scoring the basketball and or in the paint. So the activity that Tristan brings, run, jump, dunk, block shots, contest shots, can be something that they can take advantage of with the second unit and having Love out there with the starting unit. Though he's not a shot blocker, doesn't play above the rim.
Gets rebounds.
The thing that he brings to the table is not only could he stretch the floor by shooting the three, the possession isn't over till you get a block steal and or a rebound. And he's one of the best position rebounders in the game.
Whenever J.R. Smith sees a headline about the Cavs starting 5, he gets freaked out. He's like, wait, what? Huh? What happened? Did they make the announcement? What happened? Do I have to call my agent? He's like, oh, no, it's about Jay Crowder. It's about, he's like, oh, okay, cool. Dwayne Wade is one of the things that's freaking out J.R. Smith. And looks like his wine is kind of freaking out his teammates. Kevin Love and some others all gathered together. Richard Jefferson and Channing Frye. The reaction isn't one of, oh my God, that was so delicious, I need to just buy a case of this. They kind of were a little tepid in their reaction to Mr. Wade's vintage red. I know you love a red, Jalen. Would you fake it if you were one of Dwayne Wade's teammates?
You can't fake it till you make it. But for somebody like me who really just started drinking the red,
your red wine and do-rags, like you consider yourself an expert, but you have very little experience.
No question about it. All I know is this: we see Hoodie Melo getting love. This program should get love for do-rag LeBron. Do you think when they posted their video about Batman and Robin, LeBron was drinking Wade wine?
No.
Because he didn't have a problem with it.
No, they invited LeBron over, and they said they were going to be drinking wine. LeBron got really excited. Then they said they were going to be drinking Dwayne Wade wine. He was like, no, I can't make it. I've tried that. I can't make it. Next, there's news from the San Antonio Spurs, and it is not good news.
Spurs, go!
Kawhi Leonard is not going to be playing in the preseason because he's continuing to rehab his right quadricep muscle. Jalen Rose, I want you to take a look at the projected starting 5 of the Spurs, okay? Let's take a look together. At the center position, we have Pau Gasol. And then at the power forward, we have LaMarcus Aldridge. And then we've got Kawhi Leonard. And then we've got Danny Green and Tony Parker. You and all of these other so-called experts have convinced that this is a top 3 team. They always get a big easy pass right into the top 3 in the Western Conference. What about this starting 5 makes you feel like this is a top team in the Western Conference?
Hit the brakes.
No.
You never heard me say top 3 team going into this season.
Jalen, well, everyone just gives the Spurs a pass. And how many All-Stars do you see in that starting 5? I see 1, Kawhi Leonard.
Correct. Here's what I will say about the Spurs. When you look up at the end of the season and you see the standings, as long as Kawhi Leonard plays the lion's share of the games, he's going to make sure, along with Coach Pop, that they have 50 wins.
I'm not so
and
sure,
usually,
Jalen.
what that does, that's going to put you in the top handful of teams in your conference. Now, as it relates to advancing, they will have to tinker with that roster some in order to do so. Mm-hmm. But he's established himself as a guy that's going to be a candidate for MVP. And I'm just going to throw a dark horse out there before the season even starts.
Say it.
Giannis Antetokounmpo.
I knew you were going to go there.
I've called their squad team futuristic the last few years. And here's a guy playing in the East is going to have a chance to really uplift their franchise and take the next step.
Can I throw a dark horse out there? You know, a wing player who's going to get the lion's share of the minutes, score tons of the points, doesn't have a lot of help around him, just like Russell Westbrook last year. MVP, Lance Stevenson. Don't forget who else is going to score? Who else is going to score in the Pacers? He's going to score 40 a game. Lance Stevenson will be the MVP. Remember where you heard it first, here on Jalen and Jacoby on ESPN Radio and ESPN2. Part of giving the people what they want is opening up our voicemail lines and our Twitter feed and going to our Reddit account and getting questions from you, our audience. If you call 985-80-JALEN, you can leave us a voicemail and we'll play it on the show just like this.
Hey, what's up, Jalen Jacoby? It's Gabe. Shout out Reg, too. Shout out. It's Gabe. I'm from 301 Merlin. And I called in today because I was listening to another one of my favorite podcasts, Drink Champs. And they had EPMD on there. And they told a story. So I want to know if Jalen could share it with the Jalen Jacoby listeners. All I'm going to say is Ohio, EPMD concert, and a van. All right.
Okay.
Thanks for the
Okay, a couple
podcast.
things. Number one, Reggie's one of the producers. He's not the producer, he's one of the producers, okay? So Reggie sent me the audio file earlier and was like, all right, I edited this for the show, okay? And then Reggie played. I was like, you know what? I didn't understand the story. I think we need to recut this because it's been cut down. I don't fully get it. And then I don't screen the voicemails. Reggie does. So Reggie, not even listening to being like, oh, we need to redo this, just plays the first voicemail about the exact story that we were not ready to put on wax. But guess what? Now we're gonna put it on wax. Reggie played the tape.
We're not.
Oh, we're not. Oh,
no.
okay.
Thank you for the call, Gabe. Appreciate the love.
Shout out.
I listen to Drunk Champs as well. I got a chance to run into Nori in Miami. I promised him I was going to come on. Eric and Parrish making dollars are my brothers. They're like family. I also let Reggie know that they talked about this story the last 15 minutes of the pod. And I specifically said, edit it and let's talk about it on television. So until I hear Eric and Parrish tell the story, I'm not going to tell the story on our program.
Why haven't you heard them tell a story? Reggie sent me the audio file.
On our program.
Okay. Let's listen to the next voicemail.
What up, though? This is Darnell from the Mile High City, Super Bowl champion Denver Broncos. I got a couple questions. So the first question is, Jay Rose, man, love you to death, man. I never forget I was in my living room when 1994, when David Stern said, with the 13th pick, I'm like, oh, yeah, Fab Five all day. I'm from Denver. Okay, let's get that straight. Second of all, I want to say this. Yo, how you going to always go against the Broncos when you got to show the D some love, man? I know this ain't Detroit, but it's still the D. I like to call it the real DC, Denver, Colorado. You got to show the Broncos some love. Always betting against it. Second part of the question I want to ask is, why wouldn't you ride the subway? Come on, Jay Rose. You from Detroit, man. You played in New York. I know you got a new gig coming up in New York, man. You got to show New York some love. I'm from Denver, bro, and I've been on the subway all day, every day. Get on that subway, though, Wardy. Come on, Blair. DC already on way. Yep, medicinal.
Great finish.
Thank you.
Great finish.
Thank you. Thank you. You're far too kind.
Medicinal. We're ending every show with medicinal.
Appreciate the call. Big shout to the Mile High.
Yep, medicinal.
Literally.
Yep, medicinal.
Super Bowl champs. Shout out.
Still saying Super Bowl champs for some reason. Like, just because you won it once, you got to hold the belt, I feel like. You have to be holding the belt above your head to be the champion of something. You know what I mean? Like, every team is the Lions have won the Super Bowl before, right?
No.
Oh, okay. My bad. My bad.
Here's the other thing. No. It's almost like a boxer. A dude can get knocked out 10 straight times, but you call him champ because he won it 20 years ago.
I'm calling people coach that haven't held a clipboard in like 30 years.
Right. So here's the thing. I have mad love for the Denver Broncos. Von Miller, rushing the passer, arguably the top one in the game. The no-fly zone, big-time pick to end the game. Knocked Derek Carr out of the game.
Mm-hmm.
I was trying to make sure Michael Crabtree didn't duck the game. And so I appreciate that acknowledgement, but I don't always root against them. Not at all. No question about it. Mile High salute, Terrell Davis. A couple of my homies played for the Broncos that looked out for me when I was playing out there, including Shannon Sharp and big Alfred Williams.
Shout out to Shannon Sharp for the black and mild on TV earlier today.
Shout out.
Really?
Yeah, we got do-rag LeBron, do-rag Jalen, and black and mild Shannon Sharp.
Okay, good. So that's all family.
Have you ever smoked a black and mild, Jalen?
I have not.
I put one in my mouth and I lit it up. And I took 2 pulls and I was like, "What am I? This is ridiculous. This tastes bad. It stinks.
Hey man,
I want nothing to do with this."
That tobacco will make your heart pop out of your chest.
That's what I'm saying. No, thank you. Thank you so much for the call.
They rebranded it though. They call it hookah.
Okay. Next, we're going to go to our 1-800-Flowers Twitter feed. So a lot of people are sending us this link. Michael Beasley said talent-wise he's on par with LeBron James and Kevin Durant. Is that a failed test?
Yep. First and foremost, Michael Beasley can't fail any test because he's in the program.
He's in the program. O.J. Mayo is like, I got to get back. How's he still here? How come he's on the team?
And the other thing, here's what ends up happening.
What's that?
Players who have found their way to maintain staying power in the league, and Beasley does get buckets when he gets hot. Now you go to a larger market like New York City, and before you know it, you don't realize that there are more microphones in front of you.
That's the thing. So let me tell you how it works from the media side, right? Because I work on the media side. You're in the locker room. Here's how it works from the media side. Oh, Michael Beasley goes on Taylor Rook's podcast and says something about 10% of the brain. That goes sort of viral, right? And then in today's media environment, you just want those clicks. You just want something that gets shared on social. You want a big splashy headline that everyone goes back to. So now you know that Michael Beasley can be the source of one of those. So now, instead of finding out how he's going to adjust to the game, what they're thinking of X's and O's, are they still running the triangle, what's it like being in New York City, no one asks Michael Beasley those questions. They trap him into questions in which he will say something silly because they know that if they ask him enough of those trap questions, he will say something silly. So then you can get him to compare himself to Kevin Durant, LeBron James. Then you put that in the headline, and then you go quote-unquote viral. And it's just pretty manipulative. It feels manipulative at this point, where you're just kind of like taking advantage of Michael Beasley's zaniness for your own clicks. And at the end of the day, Michael Beasley, let's just let him play some games in New York before he already builds his reputation as sort of, an oddball character. Because he'll earn it. He'll earn the oddball character nickname himself. Yep. Next, we're going back to our 1-800-Flowers Twitter feed. This is from Florin. Florin wants to know, what did you buy with your very first NBA paycheck? I bet it wasn't even that much, to be honest with you. After taxes and everything.
My first NBA paycheck, so the game was a lot different.
How much do you have out in loans before you even get a NBA paycheck?
That's where I was going. So when you watch players walk across the stage now in their custom suits and their custom shoes, and their jewelry, all of these things indebt the athlete. When I walked across the stage, the good thing is I didn't have any debt. And you could tell I didn't have a stylist. And my earrings weren't real. You could clearly tell I'd never been to the dermatologist, had a nice bump under my eye that I doctored all night, or the dentist. So I didn't have, outstanding bills. The first thing I bought were veneers. Okay. Immediately made an appointment. No question.
Really?
Absolutely.
How long did that take to get done? When you're in the chair at 10 in the morning, when you leave?
I'm going to stay here all day till y'all get done.
What are veneers?
Open heart surgery.
What are veneers? They're like teeth on top of your teeth?
They just saw down your teeth. So my bottom row is money.
Okay.
But my first 4 or 5, they were rocks.
Oh, so you got that natty bottom row?
Yeah. So they sawed them down 85%, and then they put the porcelain caps on top of them.
Next question we have is from Twitter. It's from James. James has something it bothered me for quite some time until I figured it out. Question is, what does the phrase "word is born" mean, and why does no one use it anymore? Is it cultural? I thought it was "word is born" for quite some time. I really thought it was. Word is born, word is born, word is born. It's actually what, Jalen?
My word is my bond.
Word is bond. And the way that people say it is, I thought it was word and born for a long time, but it's not. It's word is bond. It's not cultural.
Obi-Wan Jacoby used that in the verse.
No, I didn't. Obi-Wan Jacoby was not that prolific of a rapper. I think there's only 2 Obi-Wan Jacoby verses out there in the world.
So who are you taking in a rap battle between him and Lonzo Ball?
Oh, Obi-Wan Jacoby all day. I kind of like Lonzo. I watched Summer League preseason this week, and I couldn't help it. I watched the Laker game. I watched the Warriors. The Warriors couldn't hit anything, Jalen. They were 1 for 16 from 3 in the first half. Nick Young was the only Warrior to hit a 3 in the first half.
I saw you tweet that.
Let me tell you something. It looks like the Warriors, based on that game, it looked like the Warriors enjoyed their offseason. Let's just say that. Looks like the Warriors really enjoyed their offseason.
It still is the offseason.
Let's go to our next voicemail. Don't forget, if you call 985-80-JALEN, you can leave us a voicemail and we'll play it on the show.
Hey, Jalen and Jacoby. This is Jonathan calling in from Columbia, South Carolina. I just got 3 quick shout-outs to make. I was watching actually listened to the podcast on Friday, and you guys kind of got at Jalen a little bit when he mentioned he had put in work against the Dream and the Rockets back in the day. He got his rookie and his sophomore year mixed up. So just wanted to make sure we set the record straight. So since you guys don't like to do the research, I kind of did it myself. So I'm going to take you guys back to April 7th, 1996, Jalen Rose's sophomore year. He dropped 7 for 7 from the field, 19 points, 10 rebounds, 9 assists, and he helped the Nuggets pull it out 111-105. So special shout-out to Jalen Rose for putting in work. Now, the only catch there was Elijah Wan was not in the game. So not sure if that would have changed the stat line any, but keep doing your thing, Jalen Rose. For all those youngsters who don't know, Jalen used to put in work. Second shout-out to my boy Jacoby. Me and the wife are expecting a baby boy on the way, and we're in the final 4 of name selections, and Jacoby made the list. So we'll see how that goes. And last shout-out to my girl, Amina Hussein. Me and the wife were watching the Family Feud show, and she had us rolling with some of her answers. So special shout-out to her. You guys keep giving the people what they want. Take it easy.
I love that Amina got a shout. Shout out. Big shout to Amina Hussein.
Big shout. Blow her up on Twitter. At Amina510. So representing the Bay Area.
Something I know about you, Jalen Rose. You got 19 points. You got 10 rebounds. You got 9 assists. I know you spent the last 5 possessions trying to get an assist. You can have a wide open layup. I know you spent the last 5 possessions trying to get an assist. I know you did.
Well, here's what took place. Back then, you had to act like you truly weren't paying attention to your stat line.
They didn't hand you out the sheets at halftime.
So it wasn't none of those come to the sideline like you need 1 rebound, you need 1 assist.
They didn't have your stats on the jumbotron in the middle of that back then either, huh?
No, that was more taboo.
Yeah.
You couldn't be that dude that was chasing stats back then. The game was just a lot different. And also, what people underestimate that Rocket squad, and of course Hakeem didn't play that night, is they just won back-to-back championships.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that kind of get lost in this conversation. Big shout to Columbia, South Carolina. Thank you for doing more research than we've ever done on this program.
Yeah, for sure.
Hopefully Jacoby makes the cut. It becomes the name.
No, here's the thing. I know how the name game goes. They're not going to have 1 kid. This might not be their only boy. You know, so maybe Jacoby doesn't make the cut. Maybe he doesn't get drafted this year. Maybe Jacoby gets drafted next year. Maybe, it's like the Hall of Fame. Like, just because you're not first ballot doesn't mean you're not going to get enshrined. Exactly. Doesn't mean you're not going to end up in Canton or Springfield. Jacoby could make it. You don't have to name this one Jacoby, but trust me, you're going to be down to 3 for your next boy. You'll be down to 2 for the boy after that. And if you have a 3rd boy, you got to change your name and move out of the country.
Yep, medicinal.
Let's check your eye as it comes to this Antonio Brown outfit. While he was going into the game to play the Ravens, he had this number that really does look like he repurposed a curtain. From head to toe, it is just all kinds of awful. Does he actually like this, or is he just wearing things like this to make us talk about it on Jalen and Jacoby?
Well, he knows that we're going to talk about it, which means he likes it.
Mm-hmm.
Because he hopes that we get a chance to talk about him. The Steelers are 3-1. He's clearly established himself as one of the top receivers in the game. I've been a fan for a long time watching him perform in Central Michigan, so I've seen him go from being an underdog to a top dog. But come on, dog. You know you can't knock over the cooler when you don't get the ball.
Yeah, come on.
It's going to happen.
You can't. And also, like, if you're going to wear the whole thing about that outfit, I get it. You can't wear those shoes with it. You know, you're going so crazy with the blazer, the curtain blazer, and the floral plants. You do not need turquoise, loud patent leather shoes. Just wear some nice white sneakers or something.
And you know what else, AB? I got to hit him up because he promised to come on the program. I like the Nino Brown look better. He was angrier. He wouldn't knock over the cooler.
The problem with the Nino Brown look is you can't wear a helmet on top of that. It's just, you need to keep that shape. And I think when he took his helmet off in the sidelines, he didn't like the way it looked. That's my theory about that one.
had Big Ben missed him and he was dressed up like Nino Brown, then he would have treated him like Christopher Williams.
Well done. Jalen Rose, we have to discuss this. We need to have an intervention for Carmelo Anthony. It started early in the summer when he posted one workout video of himself wearing a hoodie. It was nighttime. He was in Manhattan working out so he could be private at like 1, 2 in the morning or whatever. I get that. And he was wearing a hoodie. I understand. He wanted to be low-key. I totally get it. And then he started playing basketball with the hoodie on in some pickup games. All right. And then you knew he was really forcing it when at Media Day he put his jersey on top of his hoodie. What? Now, at the first official scrimmage and practice, open to the fans, Carmelo Anthony is now wearing a hoodie at practice and during a scrimmage. What? Why is he continuing to force the hoodie Melo thing upon us?
He is forcing it because when you're rocking it under your team-issued jersey, number one, you know you're not going to be